Okay, so I always start off when I'm cutting my lawns with the strimmer and edging the surrounds, and that could be a flower bed or that could be up against a brick or a sleeper wall perhaps. And I use both sides of the strimmer, so flathead it and then turn it on its side and give it that edge which the odd edging shears used to do back in the day. On this particular lawn, you've got little rectangles of grass between the trees, so I'm flatheading it in between there, just because trying to get the mower in there and get it turned round can be a little bit of a pain sometimes. So by doing that, all I can do when I'm doing my perimeter cut with my mower, or my clean up cut as it's known, I can just go straight up the inside of the beds. This is sped up a little bit. I don't want you to think that I'm a Superman zooming round, and this can be quite time consuming edging, but it really does make a big difference. There's a little bit of a guy watching as he passes the gate there, a little bit of lawn envy. Best lawn in the street, easy. Okay, so once the strimming's over, now I would normally blow if there was a lot of grass all over the paths, and that blow it back onto the lawn and then clear it up with the mower, but it's quite dry and the grass isn't that long, so it's not too messy, so I'm just going to go straight for mowing. There's the 86 Pro, choice of a champion. Now, the first stripe is the most important stripe. If you get that straight, it's going to make it a lot easier to get the rest straight. And my trick is to line myself up with something in the distance, whether it be a tree or a post, or it could be anything really, and then just keep your eyes on it and head straight for it. Been many times back in the day when I was on the golf course, and I'll be putting my first stripe in and a member would say hello, and it's tunnel vision, so you just have to ignore them, because the minute you turn your head you're going to lose your place, and then that line's bent and you've got to go back and straighten it. And if you do find yourself putting in a bit of a wonky stripe, if you like, or a banana, it pays to straighten it up straight away. Don't do 2, 3, 4, 5 stripes and then decide, you know, I should have straightened that, because then you've got to go over all of those stripes for, 2 or 3 times to get rid of it. Now, you could have had the lawn done and be having a beer on a deck chair by the time you finished. So if that first line isn't straight, straighten it straight away. And now all I've got to concentrate on doing is following the last stripe and overlapping so I don't miss anything. Now for me, I always use the wheel on the front. The width of the wheel, that is my overlap. Now if you're not particularly confident, you might want to go a little bit more. But for me, I use the wheel, and that's all I'm concentrating on now. Is I know my first stripe was straight, so as long as I just follow the line, I know I'm going to be okay. So when you are striping, what you're looking for is not only straight, but the same width of stripe. That's very important. The wider the stripe, the better generally. Now, as I say, this is the second. Oh, here we go. So once I've striped the lawn, we then do a perimeter cut, or a clean-up cut. So this is where we've been turning, and as you turn you're going to miss bits on the edge. So now we're just going to collect all those bits, and sometimes when you pick the mower up, pop a wheelie onto its roller to turn it, sometimes grass can drop down, so we're picking it up now. As I explained at the start, I've already strimmed in between those areas, so I'm just taking a line straight up the inside. And now moving over to the other lawn. Now I alternate the diagonals, and today as you look at it, it's a left to right. So now I'm putting in my first stripe. So I've lined myself up probably with the corner or the edge of the box hedging. Now we're going to see how good I really am. This whole stripe has been done one-handed. I'm right-handed, I've done it with my left hand. Let's see if I've got it straight. Not bad at all. And And to be fair, I was watching through the camera the whole time, so I wasn't really looking where I was going. So anyway, we're now coming up to a bag where this is my cue to stop and empty the box, or the bag as it's known, on the back of the mower. As you take it out, you sometimes end up spilling a little bit, so I'm going to hook that up. When I turn the engine off, I always just drop the revs first, and also just pop a little wheelie just as the blade stops. Sometimes when it's spinning slowly and is in contact with grass, it can just tear it that little bit. So bag goes onto the cut grass, so I don't have to move it again. There we go. Start her up first time, turn the revs up, and off we go. Now we get to see a real good opportunity to see the overlap. And it's the first day I've got shorts on, middle of March, odd socks, the way we roll. Okay, so all I'm concentrating on is keeping those stripes straight and the same width. So if you look at that wheel on the left hand side as I'm coming to the screen, you can see that it's overlapping just the width of that wheel, which is about an inch. That's it, and that's all I'm focusing on. I don't need to worry about being straight because I know my first line was straight, even though I did it with my left hand. Not quite moved on to blindfold yet. And there we go, straight, stripes, the same width. Now next week when I cut this lawn, I'll do a right to left diagonal. And these stripes, so this is the second cut of the year, but the first stripes that I've put in on this side. Oh, what's going on? Okay, so it's a little bit of showboating. There we go. Okay, now the lawn's done, sun's setting. I always finish my lawns with just a little tidy up. So anything the strimmer's blown onto the road, it could be a patio, driveway, any dust, any soil, just going to blow it back now. Just blow it away, just so when the homeowners get home, they've got a nice clean drive to drive down, and then they can look onto their beautifully striped lawn. It's all part of the package, it's all part of the deal. And that's it. So hopefully by the end of watching this, you should know how to do straight stripes of equal width. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this.